Hello everyone, my name is Felix. I'm an Italian Canadian. I've been working in China for the past 20 years. Today I have decided to make a video testimony of my situation concerning my employment, or concerning the termination of my employment after 4 years of having worked at the same company. And my testimony involves the hero of the story, which is Edgar. Firstly, I wish to say that I prepared a written testimony about a page and a half long, but I decided to put that aside and just to make it informal. Okay, well, okay, so let's start with explaining the situation. As I said, I've been working for the same company for 4 years in Xi'an. It's in a university. I work in a university. I'm hired by a company which is affiliated to the university. The low work, I only have 4 hours a week, 2 afternoons a week. I've been teaching for 4 years, and I got a good pay. And the reason why the workload is so low is that the university has a restriction. It requires the company to hire 2 foreign teachers, but there's only 1 that's needed. We only have 2 classes, we're only 50 students. And since I've been there the longest, I get the lowest workload. And that's how it's been for the past 4 years, and this great low workload has enabled me to work on my book project. I've been researching for 20 years. I began writing 3 years ago, and I'm ready to wrap it up. And also, I began training 2 years ago, and I began dancing salsa and bachata. So it's been very good. Now, 6 weeks ago, my colleague and I were abruptly announced that our employment would be terminated. Why? Because we've been asking for raises for the past 2 years, him for the past year, and instead of telling us we can't give you a raise, negotiating with us, they just terminated our contract and looked for other teachers at lower salaries and more conditions. On top of that, just last Friday, June 30th, they announced to me that my visa, the process to cancel my visa would be activated as soon as my contract would end, which was 3 days ago. On top of that, I'd have to leave my apartment in 10 days. On top of that, I'm 60 years old this year, although it may not show. Although just a number. I mean, in appearance, in physical state, in energy, I'm 40. I mean, 40 with, I look 40, I'm 40, that looks like a 35-year-old or something. Something like that. Anyways, I'm in good shape. But due to my age, 60, I'm having a hard time finding other employment, so it's taking longer than I thought. The only offers I have is a high workload, low salary, which I totally refuse. And so this is my situation. And on top of that, this year I had a lot of expenses, and my savings were down to almost none. And I have to leave my apartment and when I found the news a week ago, they told me I'd have to leave my apartment 10 days later, in 3 days from now. So as you can see, things just couldn't get worse. To put it in plain English, the shit hit the fan. You know, it totally did. I was totally stressed out of my mind, and I didn't know what I would do. Then I remembered my colleague who began working at this company 2 years ago had told me that he had hired a lawyer because they screwed him of his first 2 months' pay. Because at that time, COVID-19 began. He was supposed to start working in February of 2020, and instead of having him working and pay him, they continued paying the other worker teacher who had left, gone back to America, but he was teaching online. So he got cheated out of his 2 months' salary. And he looked for a lawyer. He found Edgar, and Edgar gave him some information. He found out that this company was doing illegal activities and so on. So I remember that, and I asked him to give me the contact of Edgar, of that lawyer, if he still had it, and he did. He sent it to me. I sent a contact request to Edgar. He answered right away. And I noticed Edgar, in his introduction, he says written testimonies, written consultations are free of charge. I wasn't sure what that meant, but anyways, I started explaining my situation. And also, I had very little money to hire a lawyer, but I decided that's what I needed to do. I explained my situation. I told them my idea to send the school a letter saying that if they will cancel my visa, I would report them for illegal activities. And Edgar, the first sentence he told me changed the whole thing. He said, if they will terminate my contract, they need to pay me 4 months severance pay. 4 months severance pay. That's 20K, that's times 4, that's 80K. Plus month of June, that's 5 months. Plus 4 days of July, plus 6K for travel allowance, for end of contract allowance. That added up to 110K net. I go, really? I sent a snapshot of that to the lady who's in charge of my employment, the one who terminated me. Up to that point, she had been treating me like trash, like garbage, not listening to anything I would tell her, including the threats. But that one snapshot of Edgar saying that they have to pay me. And also, I questioned him after that. I said, but it's not in the contract. He said, it doesn't matter. It's in the law, and the law overrides the contract. I sent her that information. All of a sudden, her tone changed from being so treating me like trash. She became very cooperative all of a sudden. Strange how people cooperate once a lawyer gets involved. Huh? Don't you think? She said, okay, I'll ask my boss. The next day, the very next day, she replied. She said the school agreed to grant me my 4 months severance pay. And a few days later, just 3 days ago, July 4th, July 5th, all the money was put into my account in one lump sum. There we go. So my money problem is solved. I have the funds now. I still have to leave the apartment. Oh, they will also let me stay in my apartment till the end of the month. I have 20 more days. I got the money. I got time to look for another job. Time to solve the visa problem. So finally, I just want to say I owe all this to Edgar. And he didn't charge any money and all that too. I just can't believe it, you know. As you can see, I'm a Christian. I was a Taoist for 20 years. 27 years I followed Taoism. I now put an X over all the religions. I did my own research in the past 3 years, and I found that the Bible is the truth. And I think Edgar is a person that, you know, does what the Bible says, you know, to love your neighbor like yourself, help people. So that's it. That's my testimony, and I wish everyone good luck. I wish everyone to be happy, to have everything they need, the funds and everything, good, you know, good employment and so on. Thank you, everyone, and good luck to all.